Hey guys, we're here today with my buddy Kyle, and he's giving us a deck profile on his Majepals Majespecter deck.
Yeah,
So,
I'd like to call it the Majepals. One of my friends came up with it, so.
Alright, let's get into this.
Okay, I'm going to run a 3 Sorcerer. That's really just for consistency. I'd like to open it first turn. The scale is 2, and that's probably the best to go with Lizard Draw and Guitardle. These are really for my engine to draw. It's going to help me get further into drawing my Majespecters to help the plays be a little bit more consistent, honestly. Plus, I mean, if you can somehow get Monkey Board and Crobat, that's probably the best play, honestly. If you can add that with Sorcerer. Sorcerer really makes the game go crazy with the Majespecters. If you can splash it in any deck, it's a really good option. We'll also do the Majespecters. We're going to run 3 Gara, the One-Tailed Spirit. These are obviously Naruto related cards, and this card is probably the best card in the deck. I run it at 3. Unfortunately, it's a rank 3, or a level 3. If it was a level 4, it'd probably be too busted, probably limited or something. But usually you want to keep this in your hand at all times. You can somehow get it in your hand at the end phase, or just, you know, stock it. You can actually make sure that your scales are going to be set up for next turn, because if they pop a scale, then you can just summon it out and be like, okay, I'll add the scale out over here that I needed. So, also run 3 Cat. This is Yugito, the Two-Tailed Spirit. This one, it's really good. Most of the Majespecters are 2s, and that's really what is helping out with the scale consistency. I really like to have, let's see, I've got 12 and 13 high and low of the scales, and this one is the add it in phase. Like I said, it really goes well with Gara. If you can somehow get him in your hand at end phase to set up for next turn, Cat can really capitalize with that, especially with the 1800 defense. It's pretty solid. Fox is one of my favorites. It's Naruto, the Nine-Tailed Spirit, and the scale's 2, and that also adds to the consistency that I need. The level is 4, helping me to make Chidori. Lightning Chidori is probably my favorite card to go in against my opponent. It's a really good capitalized play. Crow, which is Sasuke. Sasuke, he helps me add the spells, and Naruto helps me add the traps. So usually the traps are related to Majespecter Tempest, and Tempest is probably the best card in the deck, honestly. And then Crow, that's going to add the spells, that's going to add Sage Mode, which I'll show you in a moment. And then we've got Majespecter Kirin, and Kirin is Sakura. This card I really like to get in my hand if I have an extra normal summon. If I can somehow get this on field and in turn, that way I can just return, you know, anything like a Crow or probably a Naruto. It's really like a plus on my side, yet at the same time it set my opponent back by returning a card to hand. This card is also a really good play when it comes to Crobat. Now that it's on the adjusted list, it's down to 1. It's really good to just get him back to my hand. It's pretty solid. So that's it for the Majespecters. And then we've got some just generic pendulums that I like to run. Archfiend Eccentric, it's a high scale, so it helps even out my scales. Also, it's one of the most versatile cards. If you're going up against a really hard guy, you just gotta normal summon it and tribute it and destroy their monster. It's pretty solid because you can just pendulum summon it right back next turn and do the same thing. Also, it treats itself as an MST. You can activate it in the zone, and you can just tribute itself from the zone and just pop a card on the field, like a spell or trap, or probably a card in the pendulum zone.
I feels.
It's pretty good. Then you've got the one Luster. He's I wanted to run the Draco engine in this deck, but honestly their scales were really messing up with my Majespecters, and it wouldn't let me special summon the level 3s. But this card, it's super broken. I understand why they put it on the adjusted list. Yeah, it basically, the main game for it is to either get Ignister or to actually just stack your extra deck. So it's pretty good.
I feel.
Yeah. Then my only 2 effect monsters, Effect Veiler. It's for my tuner. Also, it's really good to just pitch from your hand to stop an effect like Crobat or anything else, really. Then we've got the spell cards. We've got 3 Wavering Eyes. Wavering Eyes is probably the best card that plays in a Pendulum deck.
Yeah, it needs to be banned.
Yeah, it does need to be either banned or semi-limited or somewhat, but yeah, it's enough said about that. It's pretty good. Majesty's Pegasus. This card helps speed up the Majespecter plays immensely. It'll increase their attack by 300 each, and also it's basically tribute what monster you have on your side of the field to special another Majespecter from deck. So it's an instant huge plus. Plus you'll get the plus off of the Majespecter. So if they're smart, they'll probably destroy this immediately. Then I've got 2 Majespecter Sage Mode, or Sonics. Sage Mode, this doubles the attack of the Majespecters. It really helps out with them being so weak. But it's really cool because if you're having to get over a strong card, like maybe Dark Destroyer, like Cosmo, you can actually drop 2 of them, and it'll double the attack twice, and it's just going to inflict so much more damage. I think this is probably a really good card to go over Cyclone. But Cyclone's good in some situations, that's why I side it. So it's quick play, so that works really well. And Regeki, this deck really has a problem with getting over strong monsters. That's why I run Sonics and Regeki. So I mean, basically, I want to get over your field and then just spam attacks with all my monsters.
I feel.
Yeah. Plus, it's non-targeting. That's one of the biggest things in the meta now. So,
oh yeah.
Then we've got 2 Trap Holes for Rafflesia. It's not so bad to draw into these, but opening turn 1 with neither of these, that means Rafflesia's coming out usually, because that's just a solid turn 1 opening. Then my other 2 traps is Majespecter Tempest, and Tempest is basically like Solemn Strike, except you don't pay life points. You actually just tribute a Majespecter, which in my eyes is a lot better than paying 1,500 life points.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so stop effects and stop special summoning. So that's the main deck, and for the extra deck, got just some pretty good cards right here. Ignister's a pretty solid one. Trish and Clearwing, Black Rose, and Chanbara. Obviously that's for game. That's just to clear up the field if you're going up against something like Monarchs or anything with scales, really. Clearwing, Cosmos, kills it. Ignister, non-targeting. And then Trish, also non-targeting, and it slows your opponent down like crazy because they're being taken 2 cards. So, then the side deck, this is kind of just generic, really. It's not really YCS competition, but Maxi, that really goes in for the Veilers. If I feel like I'm gonna have a better time with Maxi instead of Veiler, that's just enough said about that. These are the Cyclones. Sometimes I switch them out with Sage Mode, just because sometimes I like to get over a Dark Law a lot easier just by tributing instead of having to go into battle. Plus it'll force out their mass change or something like that. Spell Shattering, if I feel like I'm going against a Pendulum player and I really want to get that Wavering Eyes War, I really want to win, so I want to put this in my deck. It's also really good against Monarchs. Kills all their open cards like the Field Spell. That Field Spell's stupid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really stupid. 3 Twin Twister, really for the same reasoning. A lot of back row hurts. I don't really have any back row control other than the Archfiend Eccentrics, and those are pretty good. Yeah. 2 Chain Disappearance, that's really good against Monarchs and Heroes and Mermails. This card, whenever a monster with 1,000 or less attack is summoned, I can banish every other copy in their hand and deck. So it stops Shadow Man, stops Bubble Man, stops the idea from Monarchs, it stops Mermails. It's really solid. It slows them down for the rest of the duel, really. Imperial Iron Wall, that's just for really Cosmos, really, and Infernoids. So I'd probably see Cosmos a lot more than that, and Master Restrict, just because everybody likes to play Monarchs. Actually going into the mirror with Majespecters just kills them because they can't tribute their Majespecters.
Oh yeah, fam.
Yeah. So, but that's it for my deck profile. I feel like this is a really good, solid deck for regionals. YCS possibly. I don't know. I didn't go the rest of the extra deck. I totally split up on that. That's crazy. But for the ranks, I've got Rafflesia, as I said, with the Trap Holes. Dagusto, if I'm going late game, I can recycle all the rest of the cards that I have. Like the really good game changers like Chidori. Crab King, he's pretty good. He's really, I like the 3,000 attack and defense. It can really slow down my opponent, and I can just get a really good beef stick right there. Then I've got Castel. Castel, he's just, one of the best cards to put in your extra deck. You can just return to scale, or you can just, I don't know. Unfortunately, it does target. Hopefully, it'll come up with something else like Giant Hand. Abyss Dweller, that's really good for anything that hits activates in the grave or anything.
Oh yeah, really good against Monarchs, BA.
Monarchs and BA for sure. I really do have a hard time playing against BA because they're so annoying. Heartland Draco, I've thought about cutting this card, but honestly, it's pretty good if my opponent doesn't have an out to it. Like, they have to attack it or destroy it, and the only way they can attack it is if they get rid of my scales. So, and it's a 2,000 attack. I mean, really, honestly, yeah. If you can get these two cards on the field, this is a 4,000 defense or 4,000 attack directly.
Oh yeah.
Because this is going to target that. It's going to attack twice. It's just stupid good. I actually want to match at YCS because of that. I thought that was really cool. So I'd run it over Cowboy, honestly. But then my rank 3s, there's only 2. It's Totem Bird and Acid Golem. Acid Golem, I like having stronger monsters since my Majespecters aren't. So he's a 3,000 attack and defense. It's really for game most of the time. And Totem Bird, he's really to capitalize on locking down my opponent. If they're going to activate a spell, it's not happening. I'm just going to negate it. So.
Alright, man. Well, I appreciate it. Pretty great deck.
Thanks, man.